If you're running a business or you're involved in running a business, you've got to know what the purpose is. What's the business there for? And I don't mean mission or vision, I mean higher in the helicopter than that. What's the business there for? The only people who can decide that are the shareholders, the owners of the business, the partners, the family, whoever it might be. They are the only people who can say, that's what success looks like. And if you're running a business, if you don't know where it is you're trying to get to, how on earth are you going to get there? So my tip number one is, you've got to know your purpose. If you own the business, what you need to have is a shareholder meeting. It's not a board meeting, it's not a management meeting, it's a shareholder meeting. I would recommend you have it twice a year. And the very first item you should put on the agenda is, what's the purpose of this business? What does success look like for us? There are three sorts of purpose. There is a financial purpose, and that's preeminent for a commercial business. There is a social purpose, and that's preeminent for a not-for-profit or a charity. And there's a brand purpose. All three of those you've got to nail and you've got to write down. When I ask people what do they intend doing with the business ultimately, they often say to me, well, I'd probably sell it if I got a decent offer, but you see, you won't. You won't get a decent offer for your business unless you spend 3 years, ideally 5 years, running your business totally differently, because you now have a new purpose. Your purpose now is to sell the business, let's say, for the highest possible price, and it's incredibly difficult. Just about every strategic decision you take is quite different from how you used to do it. So tip number 2 is, if you're thinking of selling your business, you've got to absolutely nail the purpose and mean it. I remember an Academy member who, after this discussion, said to me, you know what, I'm a third generation family business. I've been running the business now as managing director for 3 years, but we're getting nowhere. My father keeps interfering. My mother keeps interfering. There's all kinds of relations that come in and tell people to do things. And what he decided to do was, at the next board meeting, he took everything off the agenda and he had just one item. What's the purpose of this business? Now, in that case, it wasn't to sell it. But what you need to do is to get that purpose down to a sentence, and ideally get it to half a sentence. Because if you can do that, you really do have a laser beam focus. In his case, I've spoken to him since, it was the turning point for the business. They nailed the purpose after a day. You can look at the financial results of that business and you can see when that decision was taken, because suddenly everyone was pulling in the same direction. I strongly recommend that you do it.